with a lot of other teams in Major League Baseball, or any team in Major League Baseball. The key is to keep Cabrera healthy, and now he plays, but really healthy.
Right.
And Victor Martinez healthy. There's Victor. Swing and a miss. Foul. That was a curve that hung up there just a little bit.
A couple of these curveballs seem to be rolling a little bit. Doesn't have that good snap on it like we're accustomed to seeing out of Jared.
His first outing against Tampa, he went 2 scoreless innings.
See how that ball just kind of spins up there.
Yeah, that's one where he's fortunate that Castellanos didn't recognize it initially, right?
Exactly. Better there.
Foul. So all fastballs and curveballs so far in this first inning for Jared. No sliders and no changeups. The changeup is his last pitch, basically.
Correct.
There's Rick Kranitz.
And these guys will make you work. This is a lineup very veteran laden, especially at the top. They'll make you throw a lot of pitches.
High fastball. And strikeout number 1. That one up to 91 miles an hour. The hardest fastball he's thrown in this inning.
He just climbs the ladder. You see where Cameron Rupp's mitt is set up. Get it up there, Jared. He does. Good pitch.
2 outs, a run in, and Victor Martinez, the hitter.
Victor will not be in a rush to get in that batter's box anytime soon.
He will not. $107 games last year. He will be the primary, not that this is a surprise to anybody, but the primary designated hitter for the Tigers.
Come on. There we go.
Ben, they are going to enforce the batter's box rule in 2018. Fastball.
Figures, you know what? This is all I have to do today. I'm going to get the most out of it.
I'm going to soak in the atmosphere of a beautiful ballpark and a beautiful day in Florida. Well, he's not alone in this approach.
No, he's not.
That'll go foul. Deep down the right field line.
Another curveball just rolling up there. Seems like he's not getting a full extension as Jared Eichhoff. See Victor, fortunately, just out in front of Hare.
Martinez missed a lot of last year because of an irregular heartbeat. To the right side. And J.P. Crawford will cut him off and then throw it wide, and a run will score. Martinez goes to second base, and it's now 2-0 Tigers.
I like the aggressiveness of J.P. Crawford to come and cut this ball off. But it's really a play that he's not accustomed to making, being in that shortstop position. I mean, this ball is pretty much straight away second base. He cuts it off. Like I said, appreciate the aggressiveness, but obviously the throw a bit errant.
Well, now some more pitches for Jared. And Reniel Pinto warming up at the bullpen.
You mark this down as the first visit, Tom?
Yeah, visit number 1. How about me pulling out Reniel Pinto, the old pitcher from the Marlins, with Ricardo Pinto warming up in the bullpen? Where did I get that from?
Something in the back of your mind.
I think it's because Enyel De Los Santos is supposed to pitch later on today for the Phillies. Change up, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Cesar chatting. There's J.P. Crawford. J.P. charged with his first error. I think he's looked pretty good at shortstop also.
Yes. He made some excellent throws on some cutoffs and relays.
Matuk even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had a good year last year for the Tigers. Hit .276 with 12 homers and 38 RBIs. He's part of the plans in the outfield this year for the Tigers. And a strike 3 call. Throws the curveball that breaks to the outside part of the plate. 2 runs do score for the Tigers. 1 earned, 1 unearned. We'll move to the bottom of the first. Phil's up for the day. Brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider according to speedtest.net. Oh, Dubel is back in the lineup today. He's DHing and leading things off. Michael Franco, who hit the home run the other day here at Spectrum Field, will be hitting 3rd for the Phils. And they will face right-hander Mike Fiers, who signed a 1-year deal with the Tigers worth $6 million. Odubel so far 0 for 1. There's Fiers' numbers, 8 and 10 with an ERA of 5.22 last year for Houston. When he's on, he's got some pretty good life to his fastball.
Very true. Not particularly good on the road last season. 5 and 4 with a 6.08 ERA. Fastball not overpowering, but he does have a very good curveball and changeup.
We talk about that life. We talk about the movement that he has on it. Odubel still has yet to play in the field. That's going to happen sometime in the next several days. He's battling a sore shoulder. He's trying to play himself into baseball shape. Legs are in great condition from what we were told. Cesar. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes. And ball 4. So Odubel walks on 4 pitches. And here comes Cesar. So there's an adjustment to the lineup. Our original lineup had J.P. Crawford batting second, but Cesar Hernandez is batting second.
It's even like that on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yeah, the lineup that I saw early this morning and also later on in the morning. So maybe they flip-flop Crawford and Hernandez. So Crawford would be batting 7th then. We'll keep an eye on it. 0-1 to Cesar. Mr. Spring Training Chris Wheeler just made the adjustment to the crowd.
Is that his official title?
Now it is. We can't call him Mr. Clearwater because there is actually a contest to win the Mr. Clearwater competition every year. In fact, our good friend Kenny Hamilton has won it. And I'm sure Wheels eventually could be part of that. Bouncing ball foul, 0-2. Cesar is 1 for 4 with a walk so far this spring. There's Mr. Spring Training.
Is there a Mr. Allentown, New Jersey?
There is not. Too small a town, Ben. There's our buddy. Runner goes. Tapper up the first base line. And 1 out. 3 unassisted. Double at second base. Michael Franco coming up. So the numbers last year for Franco: 24 home runs, 76 runs batted in. He has a home run so far in spring. That came the other day in the Yankees game.
It's like the fact that his swings have been with a ton of balance. He's been on balance every time.
Well, that has been the plan, is to try to keep him on balance.
His takes have been good. He's not flying at the baseball.
Do you think he's less open this year? He's open. Or maybe he's more straight up and down.
He's more straight up and down, but definitely not as open. He's still on the dish. Popped him up foul. That'll be out of play. 1-1. See, that's the swing I'm talking about. When he gets done swinging, he's not falling over to one side or the other. Take a look at this swing of the home run. I mean, this is a great pitch to hit, and he doesn't miss it, but his balance is perfect. The bat flying through the zone right there. For a lot of those swings here early on.
Change up low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Fiers has had himself an interesting career. From a major league standpoint, he's 5 games under 500 at 42 and 47. But he's had some fantastic games during the course of his career. Has a no-hitter under his belt. That was back in August of 2015. Against the Dodgers, but then again, there were more no-hitters against the Dodgers that year than any other team. He also has a game, this is where we talk about his strikeout ability, based basically on his changeup and his breaking stuff, and a moving fastball, located fastball. He had 14 strikeouts one game in 6 innings. He's not the guy that you would put in that category. High bouncer left side. And Michael is thrown out by Ronnie Rodriguez. Well, breaking news on Saturday, August 4th, the Phillies will induct not only Roy Halladay, the late Roy Halladay, but also Pat Gillick and put them on the Phillies Wall of Fame. Two extremely deserving individuals. Folks have been wondering what the Phillies were going to do, to honor the late Roy Halladay, and this was the hope, was that they would put him on the Wall of Fame. So on Saturday, August 4th, Doc and Pat Gillick, two pieces to the most recent puzzle of Philly success, will be put on the Phillies Wall of Fame. That's great news.
Both obviously well deserving.
Bouncing ball foul. It's 0-2 to Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins 1 for 5 so far. He was given the honor of being the leadoff hitter in last night's game against the Yankees. A 4-3 loss to the Yankees. He went 1 for 3 in that game. Scott Kingery had a big day. He was 3 for 3 with a home run. Jorge Alfaro also had a double. All right, so there's the well-located fastball. 0-2 pitch toward the outer half. That, if he's on for Fires, that's where he can live successfully.
Well, he's a guy, if he has all 4 pitches working, he can do some damage. He can miss some bats. But if he only has 2 pitches working, you can eliminate the other 2. You're going to have some success against him.
Over to short. Iglesias takes the second hop, throws out Hoskins. No runs, no hits. One man left in scoring position for the Phillies. We played one. A commemorative knit hat to all fans. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today. Oh, we begin the top of the second inning, and Ronnie Rodriguez is up there hacking. You know why, Ben?
Why's that, Tom?
Because Ronnie Rodriguez is trying to make this Tigers club. He hit .291 in the Indians organization last year. 17 home runs, 64 runs batted in. He hit .284 in winter ball. Played 6 different positions last year in the Indians organization.
Very unique batting style, that's for sure.
Well, there's the kitchen sink. Jarrett threw fastball, changeup, curveball against him, and he picks up his 3rd strikeout. So 1 away. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, as you guys mentioned in the first inning, don't adjust your TV set. That is Tommy Joseph playing left field today for the first time in his big league career. But I talked to him before the game, really throughout the minor leagues. Never played the outfield before, but as we were told this spring training, we will see guys in Phillies uniforms being worked into different positions. It's all about versatility. That's what they're working on. And Tommy said he was excited about the chance to get out there in the outfield. Said he spent the last 48 hours or so spending a lot of time with Andy Abad and working through it. Said the toughest thing, just getting that first read off of the bat. And as often in baseball as you see, the ball will find you. First 2 batted balls in this game to Tommy Joseph on the ground, so he already got a little bit of action, guys.
Yeah, it was funny watching him during BP shagging, going from left field to right field. And now he's going to shift from left field to right field. And that's because Victor Reyes is coming up for the Tigers. And Gabe Kapler is going to come out and make a pitching change as well. So Cowgill is going to be in left field. At least it looks that way right now. It could change, but we'll get back to that story in just a moment, because Gabe Kapler is going out to take Jared Eichhoff out of this ball game. So a pitching change here at Spectrum Field. Ricardo Pinto was warming up. We'll see him come into the ball game and be back for. All right, so we saw going into the break Colin Cowgill and Tommy Joseph swapping from one position in the outfield to another. And talking to Gabe Kapler before the ball game today, and he has told us this before. He said, I'm not going to do anything in this season, at least that's my plan, that I would not do in spring training to show the players that we are going to try to be a little more versatile and move guys around. And in this case, depending on the hitter at the plate, he may swap out the outfielders. He said it's more about Colin Cowgill and how good a defender he is than anything else. He said, so we're trying to put Colin in the best position to succeed. And he wasn't sure which hitter he was going to do it for today, but he did want us to know that he was going to swap the corner outfielders at some point during today's game. And is it different? Yes. You don't often see it. You see them switch around late in games, but not necessarily in the same inning. And they feel like the batter now, Victor Reyes, is more prone to go to left field as Ricardo Pinto delivers a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
That fastball had some life to it, didn't it?
It did. But I think it's all part of what we're seeing with Gabe from a preparation standpoint, from a scouting standpoint, with the organization. And you look at it and say, you know, why wouldn't this have been done before?
Right.
Because it makes sense that if you have a plus defender like Colin is, you know, why you wouldn't move from corner guy from right to left from time to time.
And it also is going to go to how you're going to pitch a particular hitter.
True.
You're not going to play a guy away and then pitch him in. And they're not just doing this on a whim like, oh, here's a great idea. Let's try this. No, this has been researched and thought of, and they have numbers that go along with it.
And he said the players all knew and the outfielders all know, and they're all into it. Swing and a miss. And Reyes is down on strike, so that's the second out. First strikeout for Pinto, and now they'll switch back. So Tommy Joseph will go to left field and Cowgill will go to right field as Dixon Machado comes up.
They won't have to do any cardio after the game.
I was just thinking that their hearts are going to be racing right now.
Imagine having to do that and then lead off that inning.
Out to center field, Roman Quinn, and he dives. It's off the heel of his glove. And over to third base is Derek Norris. Roman froze initially, and that enables Machado to reach safely with his second hit.
Yeah, we had a good view of this baseball. I mean, off the bat, it looked like it was hit directly at Roman. And that's why he froze, and it just kind of just starts sinking quickly. He's lucky that ball didn't get by him. Be a good spot for Dixon Machado to take off running here as well.
And we saw him do that in the first inning.
Yeah.
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
There's one pitch to get the read off Pinto and get a grasp of how slow or fast he is to home plate. This is where to a certain degree, I kind of miss being back behind the plate because it's that anticipation. Are you going to go? I'm going to get you. You know, it's just that whole cat and mouse game, the anticipation, whether he's going to get a good job or not, whether you're going to make a good throw or not.
Outside, 3-0. That just missed.
Did it?
Well, I'm going to give Vic Carapazza, because he's with us every day, benefit of the doubt. There's Vic. Wouldn't be a spring training game in Clearwater if he wasn't umpiring it.
No, it would not.
Line drive down the left field line. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. It's going to score 2 runs. Iglesias will pull into second base. It's a 2-run double. It's 4-0 Tigers.
He dropped anchor going around first base.
He sure did. I looked up thinking he's going to get to third on this one. But
just because of where Tommy Joseph was positioned. I mean, he was straight away left center field. I think maybe if that ball wasn't hit as hard, maybe he could have made it to third base, but a good piece of hitting there by Iglesias. You see how far away Tommy Joseph is. I mean, he's way in left center.
Tommy's probably thinking to himself, you know, there's not this much running over at first base. There it is. He's playing a tune in his head. Well, now Miguel Cabrera's coming up. Cabrera had a sac fly his first time up. So 4-0 Tigers. Miguel, I think, a little upset that the home plate umpire, Vic Carapazzi, did not ask for help.
Well, he asked for help himself, and then gets upset when he gets called for going all the way around. I don't think he went.
1 ball and 1 strike. To the right side and under the glove of Cesar. That'll put Cabrera aboard. The throw to the plate not in time to get Iglesias. And it's now 5-0 in favor of the Tigers.
Time now for a Best Western Hotels and Resorts studio update. Astros taking on the Mets. That's Jake Marisnick with runners on second and third. The double to the wall makes it 5-0 Astros. Steven Matz was the starting pitcher for the Mets. He gave up 3 runs before exiting the game. That is where we stand, 5-0 after 2. This has been a Best Western Hotels and Resorts studio update.
The other good part of it is that he's played several different positions during his career. Now 35 years old, which I think that's remarkable because we've seen all of his career. Castellanos takes outside. It's 1-0.
He just knew he was going to be a special player when he came up with Florida Marlins at the time.
Yeah, everybody that saw him as a youngster felt the same way. And I think he was even rejuvenated more when he went to Detroit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mentioned that Castellanos is playing the outfield again. He kind of saw the landscape last year when he was the third baseman, and he was okay at third base. That the Tigers were making some trades to bring in players that are more suited to play third base. So he went to management and said, listen, I'm okay to move if you want to move me somewhere to get these guys into the lineup, because I think he recognized the changes the Tigers had made, particularly with guys like Jamer Candelario, who was nicked up yesterday in a game against the Orioles. He basically said because of all the trades and the way the team was going and building for the future and acquiring other infielders, it's kind of the way it worked out as he's hit by that pitch. And that puts runners on first and second. He said, I'll do whatever they need me to do. Right now, they've asked me to go out there and catch fly balls. So that is what I'm doing. Ball and 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike. By the way, this is some of what we saw last year with Pinto. You know, real good stuff. I mean, excellent fastball, but sometimes just not really equipped to locate it.
Especially when you fall behind.
Out towards shallow right on 1 hot for Cesar. So the Tigers scored 3 more runs. They leave a couple base runners. Another RBI for Miguel. Last of the second, we have finally found J.P. Crawford's spot in the order. He is up now. So he leads off the home second. J.P. 2 for 3 so far with a run scored during spring games. Those are the numbers last year at Lehigh Valley. In the big leagues, he had 214. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tommy Hunter warming up for the pen. To second base, Machado is up with it. JP retired.
See that swing right there. I like the swing. It's just a matter of that, and that's what hitting is. You let that ball travel literally maybe 3 to 4 more inches, and that's a base hit up the middle. But instead, you're going out to get it. You come around a little bit. It's 4-3 all day long. Believe me, I know. I made a career of it. But you let that ball travel just a hair longer, you got yourself a single up the middle.
But sometimes the mind doesn't allow it.
Exactly right. And it's the same swing. You just let the pitch get deeper. And that's exactly what Fiers wants you to do.
Tommy Joseph takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Tommy is 2 for 4 with a walk, a double so far this spring. That ball sharply hit, a 1-hopper off the glove of Ronnie Rodriguez. That is hit number 3 for Tommy. And the first hit of the day for the Phils. And it brings Cameron Rupp to the plate.
The ball elevated in the zone. Tommy stays through it. Smokes it to left field. You got to hit that pitch, and Tommy does. My scorecard looks like it's 5th inning, and it's only the 2nd.
Had a little bit of a change in the lineup.
Yeah.
Everybody that was supposed to play is playing. It's just that they're not hitting in the same spot that they were at 8:30 this morning.
No.
No balls and 1 strike to Cameron. Cameron so far 0 for 4 in a couple of games, a couple strikeouts. Play 4 or 5 innings today, and then Andrew Knapp will take over after that. Iglesias wheels and deals. 6-3 double play, no runs, 1 hit, and nobody left for the Phillies. 2 of the books here in Clearwater. Cameron Rupp goes back to work behind the plate when we return. A little more of a breeze here in Central Florida. As we go to the 3rd, Phillies will go back to the bullpen. Tommy Hunter is coming on for the first time. Last year he was 3-5 with an ERA of 2.61. He pitched for Tampa and made 61 appearances. He'll take over for Ricardo Pinto, who took over for Jared Eichhoff, who is now down on the field with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, here with Jared Eichhoff, and you know, pitch count today, so you knew you were going to get you know, the time in that you got. How did you feel out there? I know you threw a lot of fastballs and a lot of curveballs.
Yeah, I felt good. Executed a lot of pitches. There was always a couple that I could you know, like to change or maybe tighten up a little bit, but for the most part, I was happy with it.
When you go into an outing like this, you know, we talk so much about you know, working on things in spring training, and you know, obviously trying to get guys out, and it's a fine balance, I guess. What was the game plan as you went into this one?
Yeah, the game plan for me was just get that fastball going, try to get in and out, and mix in that curveball. You know, I get those primarily 2 pitches going, you know, first off, and I was able to mix in some sliders in there a little bit as well.
Now, I know you had a busy offseason as you get ready for this season, but you were able to take some time and enjoy your honeymoon finally with your wife, Morgan. Where'd you guys head, and how much fun was that?
Yeah, I went to Bora Bora. We were there for about 12 days, so that was it was a once in a lifetime, maybe a twice in a lifetime type of trip. So it was awesome.
Worth going back is what you're saying. Okay, well, we've been having some fun down here in the left field corner, as you know. So we're going to play a little game we call Minute with Murph. Are you ready for that? Okay. Folks at home may not know this, but this guy right here was an academic All-American in college. So I ask you, what was the toughest course you ever took and why?
I actually met my wife there. It was probably biology.
Biology?
Yeah.
Two smart ones.
Yeah.
So Dr. Eichhoff not in the future?
Not in the future. Not in the future. Yeah.
All right. I think you're on the right track with what you're doing now. Okay. I know you are a big breakfast cereal connoisseur. So if you could only eat one breakfast cereal for the rest of your life, what's it going to be? You can only have one.
Wow. I guess I'd have to go with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's pretty standard.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I think that's a little off the board, if you ask me.
It's just a quality cereal.
Okay. Yeah. All right, it's got everything you need, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right, finally, we asked your teammate Adam Morgan if he could trust anyone with his truck. Who would it be? He said Jared Eichhoff. So I ask you, if you were trusted with Adam Morgan's truck, what would you change about it?
I'd probably swap it out for a Ford, I'd say, but that'd probably be the biggest thing. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get you for that one. Hey, swap it out for a Ford. There you have it, Jared. Always good to talk to you. Go inside, get cooled off, and enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, back upstairs.
Oh, that is funny.
It's outstanding.
Murph, you know what you need down there?
What's that?
You need to get a sign that says, "Welcome to a Minute with Murph." You know, like a real estate sign or something like that. Like, welcome to a Minute with Murph.
I like that idea. Maybe I will.
And I agree with. I like.
They want me to get a sign that says "Welcome to a Minute with Murph." Maybe a couch too.
Yeah.
Get a couch. Yeah. We'll work on it.
I like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch idea, though.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Back upstairs.
All right. Thank you, Murph. No balls and 2 strikes to Ronnie Rodriguez. Rodriguez struck out his first time up.
Of course, he speaks to us when he says that. Swap it out for Ford.
That's right.
Both Ford truck owners.
Ball at 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Equal time. I'm driving a Toyota Camry down here, and I like it. Just, you know, for something different.
Okay.
Runner goes. Little topper over the mound. Cesar's got to hurry to get Rodriguez, and does. Oh no! Did Reese pull his foot off the bag?
I don't think he ever had his foot on the bag.
I was wondering if because he looked like he was digging in.
Kind of gets caught in between here. Do I go right foot? Do I go left foot?
I think it depended on the throw. Oh yeah, he's not even close to it.
Yeah. How about these 2 hits to start the top of the third? Slow roller to third, slow roller to second.
Ronnie Rodriguez is peeking up at the scoreboard to see if they scored that a base hit or not. I think they have to.
Nothing double play couldn't take care of.
Well, Derek Norris singled his first time up. Norris, who signed a minor league contract with the Tigers with an invitation to Major League camp.
I always wonder why he bounces around so much. I know the average isn't there, but as far as it goes, defensive catchers, I like the way he receives. He's a good thrower, blocks well. Obviously a veteran presence, great beard.
I think last year he had some personal issues that he was dealing with that kind of carried over. One ball and one strike to Norris. Fouls it off the mask of Rupp. Took at second base. Rodriguez over at first. That ball's hit well, and it's not coming back. Into the tiki bar, very close to where we did the open here this afternoon. Derek Norris with a 3-run home run. Now the Tigers on top 8-0. Well, the Phillies have made some mistakes here today, and those mistakes have opened up the door to the Tigers capitalizing.
This pitch not terrible. It's a breaking ball. Norris goes down and gets it and golfs it out of here. Good piece of hitting. Sure, Cameron's set up. I mean, see him go down and get it. One arms it out of here.
Well, it's 8-0 Tigers. And Victor Reyes is the batter. And there's the fly ball to short left field. Tommy Joseph comes running in, makes the sliding grab. Atta baby.
Place your divot, please, Tommy.
The last time Reyes was up, they flip-flopped Cowgill with Tommy Joseph.
Outstanding play.
Yep, saw it the whole way.
He gets a good break on it. Very good read.
And Cowgill was over in right field giving him a round of applause as he made that catch.
I want to see him throw it from out there.
I was thinking the same thing. Here's Dixon Machado, who has reached base safely at his first 2 ABs.
Man.
Tapper foul. It's 2-1. Two and two. Yaxel Rios starting to loosen up in the bullpen. Phillies are going to go through a few more pitchers than they anticipated today. Fly ball to right field. That's carrying pretty well. Cowgill will run it down. And with 2 outs, Iglesias is coming up. Iglesias is 2 for 2. He has singled and scored, doubled, and driven in 2. And it's outside 1-0. All right, so this is the same alignment in the outfield that they had the last time Iglesias was up, and he hit the ball to the corner. So you go through these scouting reports, and sometimes you roll the dice and it doesn't work. That one is fought off foul, and it's 1-2. But if you're going to do it, or I should say 1-1, if you're going to do it, you stay with it for the next at bat, and that's what the Phillies are doing here, because he has a tendency to more so go closer to where Tommy Joseph is than where he went the last time.
And I think a lot has to do with runners on base. He had 2 runners on base his last at bat. Right now there's nobody on. So anything in the corner or in the gap is going to be just a double anyway.
All right, so the Tigers do score 3 on the home run by Derek Norris. So inside the Phillies bullpen and the Tigers bullpen, and out near Frenchie's Tiki Bar, which was packed when we were out there today doing our open, and is packed again and will be even afterward when there's some entertainment that takes place for a couple hours after the ball game. It's been a mainstay. It was also a mainstay at Jack Russell Stadium too before that facility closed. Alex Wilson is the new pitcher for the Tigers. And he will face Colin Cowgill and then Roman Quinn. Wilson last year appeared in 66 games for the Tigers at an ERA of 4.50. In fact, the last 3 years, he has 59 games. That year he had a 2.19 ERA. That was 2015. 62 games. That was in 2016. And an earned run average of 2.96. And then 66 last year. ERA was a little higher. But then again, the Tigers team ERA was much higher. One pitch to Cowgill. And it's 1-2.
I was talking to Colin today. I said, hey, I'll let you know you're talking about your bat on the broadcast the other day. He goes, really? Why? I said, well, you're one of the last guys to ever use an ash bat. He said, I always use an ash bat in the game. BP will use maple because it won't splinter, but he said in the game, always an ash bat. He goes, I think it has more flex in it, and that's what I'm going to continue to use.
2-2. Well, everybody has their own reason for using bat A or bat B. It's almost like hairstyles. Everybody has their own reason to have a Ben Davis hairstyle, but in his case, it's the field.
Exactly right.
Down the right field line, long run for Castellanos, and it drops into no man's land, and Cowgill is going to get to second base with a double.
Little long dart to right.
But you were talking about this before, that everybody has a reason for using a bat of specific size and weight.
Right.
And what, let's say, Edgar Martinez thought was the right bat would not be the right bat for Ben Davis or Colin Cowgill.
Yeah. And Edgar we were talking about, Edgar would not use a bat. Now, he had 2 different models that he had. He wanted at M356 and M348, the 2 batting titles that he had. Most of the time he used the M356.
And M stands for Martinez.
Correct. Now Edgar his bats were 33.5, but they had to be between 30.4 ounces and 30.8 ounces. Now he had a little scale in his locker. He put them in a styrofoam cup on the scale, and if they were below or above that, he would not use them.
So weird. But the conversation was triggered because your friend Pete Tucci, former player who has his own bat company, was here today, and the players were trying out some of his bats, some of the Axe bats that I know people have heard us talk about. And he was even saying how specific guys are in this day and age.
Guys order bats literally 32.3 ounces, and they'll get them in the mail, and they'll call him and say, well, it's 32.6 ounces.
Right.
It's like, he goes, I promise you, when it shipped out of my factory, it was 32.3 ounces.
It's got to be difficult to be that exact.
Yeah.
But that's business. 1 ball and 1 strike to Roman Quinn. So Odubel getting set to bat for the second time.
Got a little flyaway there, doesn't he?
Yeah. That happens, Ben.
Not to you.
Nope. Got to keep it high and tight. Out to shallow left field. Matsup makes the catch. 1 out. And Odubel Herrera's coming up. It's like Dennis the Menace. That was a TV show and a cartoon, Ben, just so you know.
Oh, I know.
And a wayward bird right there.
If he goes deep right here, you might see that hair falling out of that helmet a little more often.
He walked and went to second his first time up. Bouncing ball, foul.
Alex Wilson different in the fact that he's a pitcher that uses an open webbed glove. Now most pitchers like to have that web closed off. The only other pitcher that I can remember that would use an open web glove was Houston Street. But very rarely will you see a pitcher with an open web.
Because they don't want the hitters to see what kind of grip they're taking.
Exactly right. That's more of a third baseman's glove there.
0-2 to Odubel. Mentioned yesterday that the Phillies lost 4-3 to the Yankees. They had 9 hits, 2 extra base hits in that game. 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Today 0 for 2. Or should say 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Trying to get a run home, down 8-0 here in the bottom of the third. Remains 1-2. So Odubel fights that one off. Swing and a miss. Went down to the strike zone. And Odubel was the first strikeout victim of the afternoon for the Phillies. 2 outs.
Breaking ball down the zone. Norris smothers it.
This was one of the issues with the Tigers last year. Overall, their earned run average was 5.36, which was 15th in the American League, but 5.63 ERA from the bullpen. The team allowed 218 home runs. So pitching is going to be, it's important for every team, no question. But for the Tigers, to compete with the likes of the Indians and the Twins and the White Sox and the American League Central. Their pitching is going to be a huge part of their resurgence. Obviously, they traded Verlander to the Astros. But they expect Michael Fulmer to be back healthy. He pitched well yesterday, just a couple innings. Jordan Zimmerman, Mike Fiers, who was on the mound today. They just signed Francisco Liriano. But their bullpen is going to be part of the storyline for their success or failure this year.
That's one thing I think the Phillies have been so secured in. It's going to be a big asset for the Phillies in their bullpen this season.
Yeah, because they have guys that are veterans now. They still have some youngsters, but veterans. And plus the addition of Hunter and Neshek certainly helps the cause. Alex Wilson will be part of that Tigers bullpen. We're also scheduled to see Drew Verhagen and Daniel Stumpf in today's ball game. And they are also scheduled to be part of the Tigers bullpen. Three balls, one strike to Cesar, who grounded out his first time up. Watching batting practice today, and Gabe Kapler came back to watch as well, and he pointed to Cesar Hernandez. He goes, I have been really impressed with Cesar. And he said that yesterday the plan was to get Cesar 2 at-bats, and Cesar wanted more in the game against the Yankees. He said, I like that. I like when, you know, guys, they don't want to come out of a game. He said Cesar wants to play 162 games. 3-out assisted as he hit that ball sharply. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left in scoring position. 3 of the books. We move on to the 4,000. Yaxel Rios will take over as we go to the top of the 4th inning, and he will face Miguel Cabrera. Rios 4.41 earned run average. Cabrera so far is 1 for 1. An RBI and a sac fly his first time up, and an RBI and a single his last time up. And the first pitch goes right off the glove of Rupp. And it's 1-0. Down the first base line, and it just rolls foul. So 1-2 the count to Cabrera. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's with Tommy Hunter.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, down here in the corner with Tommy Hunter. Just got off the mound, and one of the new faces here in a Phillies uniform. And I know a lot of Philadelphia sports fans are wanting to know, who is this guy? Let's learn a little bit about Tommy Hunter. But first of all, you come over here as a free agent, and obviously the Phillies wanted you. What was it about this organization that made you want to come here?
One, it's close to home for the wife and the babies. They're able to, go back and forth to home and just outside of Cleveland. And but it's a young team, man. I like guys that are eager, guys that get after it. And it's a team that's young and a team that's upcoming. And, I just want to be a part of something new.
You've been around these guys for a couple of weeks now. Is that exactly what you're seeing from this clubhouse? This eagerness to build on what they had last year and make it better?
Yeah, it's a solid young group. So they started with a core and adding pieces here and there, and I'm just hoping to jump on for the ride, man. Let these guys take me where they want to go.
Nowadays, probably more so than ever in the game of baseball, the bullpen is so important, and we've seen that over the last couple of years. You've been a big part of a couple of postseason bullpens, and you look at this young group that they have here as they build towards having that kind of group. How close are they, do you think?
You got a lot of live arms, and that's what you got to start with. That's kind of like a foundation in baseball. You got to have the talent to produce everything that you have in a bullpen. And there's teams out there that have gone after guys and been doing it that way, and these guys are starting it. And like I said, man, it's a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that are out there throwing like jacks up here, man. I mean, so it's gonna be a fun time. I mean, you got to get to know everybody, get a cohesiveness in a group, and once everybody starts believing in each other, that's when special things happen.
Well, you knew you were going to be a part of this organization over the winter, obviously, and you got a chance to watch from afar the Philadelphia sports fans celebrate a championship with the Eagles Super Bowl. What did you think as you watched this city celebrate a winner? It
blew up. I mean, everybody saw it. I don't think there's you had to have some closed eyes for a while not to see it. So, as a city, it's something special to bring a championship, and that's what we've got a lot of big shoes to fill. So I mean, they did it a while back. Basketball, football, it's a town, man. It's a sports town, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and hopefully we can follow suit.
All right, let's delve a little deeper into the mind of Tommy Hunter. A minute with Murph down here in the corner. I'm going to ask you, now I know you're a very accomplished athlete when it comes to judo and obviously in baseball, but I'm going to ask you, what Winter Olympic sport would you excel at?
I'm going to say it's something downhill, bobsled, skeleton, anything like that. Anything where, gravity plays part in the sport. I'm gonna give it my all.
A little gravity, a little inertia, that's all a good thing for you.
Outside that long jump skiing, because I mean, I just think if I got to the end of that thing, I mean, we're just, gravity doesn't play well in that sport. I think. I mean,
that may not end well for you.
We're gonna stop out of that one.
All right. Now I know you're a big outdoorsman. So what's the coolest thing you can do out in the woods when you're hanging out in the woods?
Man, I sit there and watch. You see some crazy stuff. See some birds fight snakes. I mean, chipmunk fights, squirrel fights up in the tree. It's one thing, man. It's fight to the death. So if you ever seen a squirrel fight, man, and somebody get thrown off a tree from 35 feet up, I mean, it's intense.
Watching nature, that's what it's all about. All right, final question, and I want to know, you've been here for a couple of weeks, as we said, so what's one thing you've learned about one of your teammates so far?
Actually, I just learned it the other day. Lively's old man is, professional fisherman, and I like to fish a little bit, and we got a couple competitions going on in the clubhouse, and my man Cole Irvin, he's getting me a fishing pole all lined up. He's making it special for me. So there's a lot of get to know your teammates type of deals going on in the clubhouse, and we're going to put them to good use here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Tommy, we appreciate you spending some time with us and look forward to watching you all season long. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. That was cool. I think the good thing about Minute with Murph is that the players are not really fed the questions beforehand. So the spontaneity, that's what I was telling J.P. Crawford today, the spontaneity of their answers is outstanding.
I did not think I'd hear the term inertia today in the broadcast.
No. I think you know why, because Jared Eichhoff took that biology class, so Murph was trying to add to his science knowledge. Here's Victor Martinez with one out and a base runner. On the outside corner, it's 0-1. Martinez is 0 for 2. Reached on an error by J.P. Crawford in the first and then grounded out in the second. That one's hit sharply foul. Took a bad hop on the ball girl at the last moment. No balls and 2 strikes. Fly ball right field. Cal Gill is going to get to the spot, and Ducey will go back to first base. He came on to pinch run for Castellanos. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And Mikey Matuk will be the hitter. He is 1 for 2. Reached on an infield single, a little dribbler in the 3rd inning, and struck out looking his first time up. Adam Morgan in the bullpen. When his job is done today, he's going to go out and see a new Ford truck in the parking lot. Jared Eichhoff has anything to say about it? That was a good looking pitch right there.
This couple have been pretty good.
2-1. That's a mile-high pop-up. Cesar Hernandez and J.P. Crawford are in the area, and Crawford makes the call on the catch. So for the first time today, the Tigers go down without a run. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the 4th, 8-0. Tigers on top. Where Edwin Espinal will take over. New second baseman is Harold Castro. There he is, and the new shortstop is Sergio Alcantara. As Wilson begins his 2nd inning of relief against Maikel Franco, who pops it up onto the right side. And Castro is there to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away. Ducey, by the way, stays in the game to play right field. He was the pinch hitter in the last half inning. And here's Rhys Hoskins. Looks like today the Tigers will have 3 at-bats. Hoskins takes a little low. 1 ball, no strike. Hoskins trying to build on what he did last year in a short period of time with the Phillies. 18 home runs, 48 runs batted in. This after having 29 home runs in AAA. So if you count the AAA Major League and then the AA numbers from the year before, 68 home runs the last 2 years. In the minor leagues, then you add the 18 from the big. I mean, it's just amazing to have that total.
It's a tremendous run he was on. Just fun to watch. It's must-see TV.
So 87 total counted the big leagues. Then they have to separate it. But I think the fact that he was able to come up, and I know people started to adjust, and it's going to be up to him to adjust now. But the fact that he was able to adjust so quickly to the big leagues, you know, sort of showed you that he can slow things down to the point to be successful. Yeah, but honestly, the start will be important for him.
I think in September he was exhausted. He's not used to playing.
Could be, yeah.
In that month. But his patience and approach that we saw last season, and obviously believes in his approach, trusts himself. Like this at bat was a perfect example. He's got a 1-0 count. He knows Wilson's most likely going to throw him a fastball. He does. He throws him a cookie right down the middle. He takes it. So he just wants to see release point. He wants to see more. The more pitches he can see, the more comfortable he's going to be. Usually a young kid get up there, oh, I'm going to get a heater right here. I'm going to come out of my shoes and hit one over Frenchie's out there in left field. That's not Rhys Hoskins.
A high fly ball to deep left field. Matuk going back toward the wall. He jumps and it is gone. The first spring training home run of the year for Rhys Hoskins, and it was a mile high. And the Phillies are finally on the board. It's an 8-1 ball game.
I don't know if it was going to have enough carry. I think that it was aided by a little bit of wind up there, but this is just a hanger. And Rhys doesn't miss it. Good hitters don't miss mistakes. Rhys Hoskins did not miss that one.
Here's J.P. Crawford, who grounded out his first time up. Opposite way, down the left field line. One and two.
See Wilson here, a lot of cutters. Tried a backdoor cutter there to JP. Saw him already run that cutter up underneath the hands of Crawford. Off the hands, that'll bloop into left field for a base hit. Third hit of the spring for JP. Well, we talked about Rhys Hoskins and that home run earlier, and we asked him earlier this spring about his expectations.
We got a lot of new faces, you know, in the clubhouse and in the organization. I think I'm just excited to see how it kind of all meshes together, and you know, the direction that has already been stressed in camp, the direction that the organization and team is going. I think there's just a lot of exciting people and players that we have. It's going to be exciting to see where the team goes.
Line drive down the left field line. We know where Tommy Joseph's going to go. He's going to go to second base. J.P. Crawford all the way around third already. He's on his way home. The throw to the plate is off the glove of Norris. Crawford will go back and touch home. I think that ball got a piece of J.P. But it's an RBI double for Tommy Joseph, who's 2 for 2, and it's an 8-2 ball game.
And Tommy Joseph has been on everything this spring early on. A lot of balls hit hard. Hopefully JP's okay, but I think you're right. I think that did catch a piece of him. It was moving coming around the bases.
Sure was.
Take a look here, the ball. Yeah, right off the
that didn't even hit
W
Norris's
and Crawford. That couldn't have squared him up anymore.
Wow. And maybe it grazed the glove a little bit, but that's about it. JP went down the stairs. We'll take a peek at him. Cameron Rupp, who went into a double play his first time up, 0 for 1. Off the glove of Norris, and here comes Tommy Joseph. It's an 8-3 ball game.
You'd love to see this kind of production from the middle of the lineup. Your run producers getting the job done.
Ball at 1 strike.
See Cam get that foot down just a little bit sooner. He seems to be late on a lot of these pitches. Seems like that foot's not getting his front foot, his left foot's not getting down on time. That's causing him to be late. That all goes along with the timing and getting your timing back. Early on here.
3-2.
See where this foot is now. That time he was maybe even a little bit sooner than that. You can see he's still tardy on that fastball.
So ball 4.
Just a lot of the conversations I had with Tony Gwynn, being in that same dugout with the best hitters of all time, that was emphatic about getting your foot down. You have to get your foot down. He made it, that point made known to everybody who would listen. You get your foot down early, you're going to see it longer. The ball's not going to jump on you.
Well, and his foot was down before the ball arrived, but it was just before the ball
Correct.
arrived. So foot down, and then you still have to get your hands through.
Right.
So that's why the tardiness. Colin Cowgill doubled his first time up. One. Little looper to center field. That's going to drop for another hit. Rupp stops at second.
Colin's got to save a few of these for the season.
Yeah, really. 4th hit of the spring. And now Roman Quinn's coming up. Alcantara is about to start throwing in the bullpen for the Tigers. This is 43 pitches now for Wilson. There he is. Roman Quinn takes low. It's 1-0. Talking to Roman today about playing the infield, which he is a former infielder, and then he moved out to the outfield. He said that he is finding that his arm, from what he remembers, is much stronger now that he played the outfield when he takes ground balls in the infield. He said fielding the ball has never been an issue, and his arm was always strong, and we've seen that even in the outfield. He said, but now I feel like it's even stronger. He said that's one thing that struck me when I started taking ground balls and then letting it fly across the diamond. He said my arm just feels so much better than it did before I went to the outfield. He said, so that certainly helped me. I said, is it a big deal at all? He said, nah. He goes, I feel really good. Now, will we see him in a game play the infield a little bit more? Maybe. Just to add to his versatility, if he can be, deemed a utility guy in some way.
We know how athletic he is. I would not rule it out.
2 balls and 1 strike. Out to left field. Montook is going back. It's over his head, and it's into the bullpen. A 3-run opposite field home run for Roman Quinn. And the Phillies have scored 6 runs here in the 4th inning. And it's an 8-6 ball game.
We've seen this from him in years past. I mean, not big in stature, but he has some thump. That bat flying through the zone. All of a sudden, the Phillies within 2. Good extension through the baseball. Hit it where it's pitched. Good piece of hitting there.
Well, Ron Gardenhire's going out. I think that may be it for Wilson. The ball really carried. So an inning and a third, and 6 runs charged to Alex Wilson's line, including 2 home runs, 1 by Hoskins and 1 by Roman Quinn. We'll be bustling in another couple of days when these minor leaguers arrive. Sergio Alcantara is the new pitcher for the Tigers. 8.59 ERA. On a relief of Alex Wilson. The Phillies took batting practice on this field today. The last home game they took batting practice back at the Carpenter Complex on the cages. There's cages everywhere.
There are.
As Dylan Cousins takes outside 1-0. A lot of times in spring training, you heard all the stories about the Phillies arriving a little later this year. A lot of times teams arrive very early on spring training games, at least to start. Today the Phillies had meetings beforehand. Off the end of the bat for Cousins up the third base line. And he's going to get a base hit. So Dylan Cousins is aboard. And Alvarez is going to bat. All right, so let's see if Cousins decides to run here with 1 man down. Today the Phillies had Major League Baseball's domestic violence seminar in the clubhouse. The clubhouse was closed for a couple hours. Obviously it's an initiative that that all companies should rally around. Bouncing ball right side. That'll be a base hit to right field. Cousins will stop at second. Goes to first and second. Major League Baseball has taken strides over the last couple of years to have these seminars. Over the last several years, you've seen players who have been suspended for domestic violence, like Aroldis Chapman, Uris Familia, Jose Reyes, all obviously back in the game. Derek Norris, the catcher behind the plate for the Detroit Tigers, suspended for the last month of the season last year because of domestic violence. As Rob Manfred said, he violated Major League Baseball's joint domestic violence policy, which was implemented in October of 2015. There's a strike to Ryan Flaherty. Some youngins rolling around the berm.
Looking for a souvenir.
Well, looking for something. A couple of years he'd be looking for trouble. Outside, it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Flaherty. Outside, 2-1.
Not that batting practice always equates to a good game, but Flaherty's BP this morning was incredible. Cutting that wind. The wind was really blowing in from right field. And he still was able to cut that wind, drive a few balls out to right field, but everything was coming off his bat hard.
He was also busy fielding throws at first base and at second base while guys are taking infield practice during batting practice today. Swing and a miss. So Flaherty's down on strikes. And Nick Rickles is coming up. So Hoskins started the scoring in this inning with a home run. And now is out as his second at bat comes through. And Nick Rickles will pinch hit. No balls and 1 strike. Pulled up the third base line, foul, and it's 1-2. Tommy Joseph's had a good day today. Rhys Hoskins has a home run today, chatting in the dugout. That one gets behind or away from Norris, and the runners will move up. Wild pitch. This is an inning that is sort of unraveled for the Tigers. Alex Wilson, an inning and a third, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And now Alcantara, who did get the out, after a couple singles, is trying to get Rickles here. Bouncing ball foul past Cousins. Thought she made a very good attempt, Ben, to ask him for the baseball back. Fly ball out to shallow left center field. And the catch is made. The side is retired. The Phils, though, well, they put some offense together. 2 home runs. A big ad with Rhys Hoskins. That was a solo shot. And then a little later on, Roman Quinn the opposite way, a 3-run. All fans 14 and under will receive the Cavity Busters hooded sweatshirt. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Adam Morgan will step into the ball game to pitch for the Phillies as he takes over for Yaxel Rios. Phillies down 8-6. Ronnie Rodriguez will lead it off for the Tigers. Phillies have changed every position out on the infield and outfield, which we'll get to as we move along. We saw some of the changes starting to take place with some of the hitters who came up. Rodriguez reached on an error his last time up, and then struck out his first time up. Adam Rosales is in left field. Pedro Florimon is in center field. Jeswell Valentin is in right field for the Phils. Flaherty's at third. Meneses is at shortstop. Alvarez at second. Nick Rickles at first, and Andrew Knapp behind the plate. There's Andrew. Bouncing ball foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much. I'm here with slugger Roman Quinn, who hit that opposite field 3-run home run just a minute ago. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's just talk about spring training in general. You have been down here in Florida getting ready for baseball for quite some time. You got down here in January.
Yeah, I usually like to come down really early just to get my workout in. And back at home is not too many places I can work out at. So I come here and get the workout in with the trainers, and it's a good time.
All right, so you got a couple of weeks under your belt, and you know, you approach this season, I would imagine, with a lot of excitement, because there are opportunities within this organization, and I know you know that. So as you get these games under your belt, just how excited are you to take advantage of these opportunities?
I'm very excited. Anytime I step on the baseball field is a blessing, and just the whole new staff we have, man, is a lot of energy and a good group of guys to be around, and it's fun to be around. So I'm enjoying it.
Energy, fun. I've heard those words describe you, and that's certainly a positive thing. So this new atmosphere that really fits your personality, I would think.
Most definitely. It's all lives, man. We having a good time and just trying to enjoy the game. You know, baseball already stressful as it is, and we just trying to have fun with it.
Okay, so obviously you have some goals as you come into spring training. For you, things you're working on. What are you working on as you get ready these next couple of weeks?
I've actually been taking ground balls at shortstop, so yeah, I'm making that transition from the outfield to the infield, and I'm feeling good, man. My arm's feeling good, and I'm excited to play shortstop in the game.
All right, it's all about versatility down here. Well, speaking of versatility, we're going to get you light on your feet, which I know you are. Ask you a couple questions. A minute with Murph down here in left field. First of all, you are an avid reader, so I want to know, what is the best book you ever read and why?
I like poetry, so I would say Milk and Honey is my favorite book to read.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, Milk and Honey. I didn't see that one coming. Very good. All right. Which teammate, we know about your speed and how important it will be going forward. Which teammate of yours has sneaky speed that maybe we don't know about?
I think y'all know about it, but I'll have to say Dylan Cousins and Jorge Alfaro. To be big guys, they can really run a little bit.
They can pick it up and put it down. Yeah, we have seen that a little bit. All right, I like that. And finally, what is the best nickname? I know a lot of folks call you Q, which makes a lot of sense. But what is the best nickname that's ever been assigned to you? Is there one better than that?
A lot of people back from my hometown call me Rome, so I have to say Rome.
All right.
Yeah.
And when you're running, Rome is burning. That's what. Right?
Definitely. I like.
All right, I got that one. Roman, good to see you, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, nice job today, guys. Back upstairs.
I'm telling you, Murph, you are versatile. You're coming up with marketing slogans. I mean, whew.
We'll work on it. Yeah, we'll keep it.
Jake Rogers, by the way, comes on to pinch run for Derek Norris. As Victor Reyes is up, the switch hitter, batting right-handed. He's struck out. He's also flied out. Reyes, who's a Rule 5 selection out of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. He was the first player selected in the Rule 5 drafts. He was ranked number 19 in the Arizona Diamondbacks system. After hitting .292 with 4 homers and 51 RBIs, but 18 stolen bases last year. 1-2.
The change up there. Derek Norris had himself quite a day. 3 for 3, 3 RBIs.
Runners go. Pitch is swung on a miss. Throw to third base is there in time, but the quick hands of Ronnie Rodriguez enables him to get his hand in ahead of the tag of Flaherty. I think Ryan got caught on his heels a little bit.
A little bit. It's an excellent throw here by Andrew Knapp. He comes up firing. It's a good swim move here. Ronnie Rodriguez just getting in there. That's a heck of a call.
And looking at the replay, it was the right call.
That's why you have to be so aggressive with that tag. That is one thing I will say.
Yeah, he wasn't back on his heels either.
No.
That was just a good slide.
One thing that Chase Utley was so good about is applying that aggressive tag.
And getting his knee down,
too. He put
too.
it down there, and you were not getting a hand in there.
Infield is in for Dixon Machado. But it's 1 ball and no strikes. Actually, it's Harold Castro. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right side. Looks the runner back. Gets the out. Well, Nick Rickles did the right thing there in every facet. So 2 men down. And Alcantara, Sergio Alcantara, will be the batter.
Shortstop, Sergio Alcantara.
Alcantara last year with Visalia was part of the California League All-Star team. Hit .279, then was promoted to High A, which is in Lakeland, and hit .230. He was part of the J.D. Martinez trade from the Tigers to the Arizona Diamondbacks. J.D. Martinez just signed the 5-year deal with the Boston Red Sox.
Took a while, but they finally got it done.
Fastball, and it's 0-1. Bouncing ball foul, 0-2. All right, so Adam Morgan trying to get out of this without allowing a run to score after the inning opened up with the error. There was a single, eventually a double steal on a fantastic throw by Andrew Knapp that should have nailed the runner.
Advantage you have, Adam Morgan. You have 3 put away pitches. A lot of options here.
See if he tries to pepper the outside part of the plate. Nope, they're going in. A fly ball left field. On the run is Rosales, and he tracks it down, and Adam Morgan works out of the jam here in the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 Phillies error, 2 men left. Middle of the 5th. It's for the Philadelphia Phillies. He spent the last 5 years as the field coordinator for the Chicago Cubs. He'll be dealing with infielders and base running. We've already watched on the backfield and also the half field, the adjacent field next to the ballpark. Him working on infield stuff with not only the first baseman with Carlos Santana, but also the middle infielders as well. Very commanding voice. Noticeably a solid teacher in those facets. He was a former manager of the Puerto Rican national team and also spent 10 seasons as a coach in the Puerto Rican Winter Leagues. Talking to Gabe Kapler about how he found a lot of the coaches that are on his staff, because some are extremely diverse with very little, if no, major league experience. And he said he went through his Rolodex of friends in the game and people he respected in the game. And he said, this is my checklist of what I'm looking for my coaching staff. Who comes to mind immediately? And on several different occasions, Jose Flores' name popped up on that list. Now, to think about it, you've got Chris Young, who was the advanced scout for the Astros, who went to the World Series. And you have Jose Flores, who was the farm director, field coordinator, I should say, for the Cubs, who had the 10th best, or the top farm system 2 years ago, the 14th best, because they made some trades, obviously, in 2017. And he said, yeah, you know, that's part of it. He said, but mostly there were some criteria that I wanted in my coaches, from a positive feeling to an ability to teach and to relay information to. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of the coaches that the Phillies have brought in, who we'll learn more about as the year goes on.
I think that's the most valuable asset, is those that have the ability to teach because of the youth. And if you have the right guys that can make the points to these players to help them develop at this level and instruct them and teach them in a way that they get it. You can't just teach everybody the same. You go with the players' positives and what they can do on a daily basis. But if you can ingrain in them how they can do it better at this level, the more success you're going to have.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when you see new staffs being formed, the natural tendency, as I know it would be for me, is to say, all right, what was his major league experience as a player or as a coach? And sometimes that's warranted. Sometimes if you're, in that position of managing, there are certain things that you want to look at, and that works on each level. And a strike 3 called. Alcantara picks up his second strikeout.
And I can relate to that. You've heard me speak volumes about Kevin Long, hitting coach for the Mets. Best hitting coaches I've had. The man never played in the big leagues, but he could relay his thoughts and ideas to me and a lot of other players that made me get it a little bit better. There's a reason he went to the big league level with the Yankees. And that big reason was Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod loved what he had to offer. And a lot of the other guys in that clubhouse loved what Kevin Long had to offer. Did he play in the big leagues? Like I said, no. But he got it, and he could relay it to the players.
No balls and 1 strike to Rosales. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That ball had some sink on it, didn't it?
Sure did. Another sinker right here.
Over to third, big hop. Eves fields it cleanly.
Strong arm.
Yeah, there are 2 outs. And just so you have an idea of what the Tigers infield is, Eves is now playing third base. Alcantara is playing shortstop. Castro, as we mentioned, is at second base. And Espinal is around at first base. give you their batting orders where they are in the lineup as we go along. Andrew Knapp got a little out in front of that first pitch and grounds it out to second. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils in the 5th. We've completed 5 onto the 6th inning here in Clearwater. Tigers hold it on 9. So 2 very deserving names that'll go up on the Phillies Wall of Fame. So you can go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets for that game and for that weekend. Jose Taveras, great story for the Phillies, will take over here in the top half of the 6th inning. You can see from his stature out on the mound, he's got great size. Taveras, 24 years old, and last year in 25 starts on 3 levels, he was 9-6 with an earned run average of 2.33. He started at Single A, got a cup of coffee in Double A, and then they needed him up at Lehigh Valley just because they needed a starter. So they sent him up there, and he was outstanding. So they kept him up there, and he wound up going 3-1 with an ERA of 1.54 with Lehigh Valley. I mean, you get the opportunity. Sometimes you got to jump on it, and that's exactly what he did. So there's every chance that he begins in AAA. A fastball in the low 90s, a slider, and a changeup as well. He led all Phillies farmhands in strikeouts with 140. It was the 2nd straight season he led the organization in strikeouts. His ERA, which was 2.22, we mentioned overall, 2.33, I should say overall. Well, that ranked 4th. And what they talk about, and it's such an important statistic, and sometimes, you know, even in the changing face of baseball, it remains an important statistic. The walks and hits per inning pitched, the whip. Well, his whip was among the best in all of minor league baseball. Fly ball short right field. Valentin, and 1 out. I mean, he allowed no earned runs in 5 of his first 7 starts in AAA. We're going to bring you up there. We need you to make a start, and then all of a sudden, lights out.
Those strikes, good things happen.
A Ducey, swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Let me see a pitch at 91.
Yeah, he's going to sit at that level.
But that's not necessarily what you think of for a strikeout pitcher.
No, I would agree with you on that.
You know, there's a changeup at 84.
Yeah, so slider is his out pitch. Got a pretty good tempo to him too.
Yes, he does.
Not a bad spot. 3-1. A Ducey last year 241 with the Tigers with a home run and 10 runs batted in. He's been to the big leagues with the Rangers on 2 different occasions. He also played in Japan for a couple years.
See, that swing right there tells me that they don't pick up the ball off Taveras. 3-1 count. Everybody in the world knows a fastball's coming, but yet Ducey is still late on it. That means they're not picking it up. Gets on him late.
And a strike 3 called. He's trying to sell a walk there.
Probably pitch off the plate, but Vic Carapazza says that's close enough. Take a look here.
So that's a changeup.
That is a changeup.
Tumbling.
But I don't know. I mean, it worked out, but this is all part of the maturation process for Andrew Knapp. I know maybe Taveras wants to work on that specific pitch, but most likely you see a guy foul ball off. He's way late. Come back right with it.
First pitch is in there. It's 0-1. This is Chad Huffman. Down the left field line. That's well hit. And that one is gone, I believe. Nope, they're going to say it's in play. I think that went over the wall.
I think it hit the very top of the padding.
You think it did?
I do.
I think it's a home run.
Oh, they're saying it's a home run.
All right, now they're signaling home run. Tom Hallion did not signal home run or anything initially. That was a bullet.
It sure was.
Oh yeah, it hit the first table out on the tiki bar. So a 2-out home run for Huffman, and here is Nico Goodrum.
Oh, that had some exit velocity.
It sure did. So did that. Back-to-back home runs. That one a little easier to see. And it's now 10-6 in favor of the Tigers.
Everything was going good. Get 2 quick outs and then just a center cut fastball there. No amount of wind is going to keep that one in the park.
Cody Eaves takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jake Rogers on deck. Outside. And it's 2-1. Three and 1. Balls and 1 strike. Now it's 3-2. Ben, you know the old adage where you don't start a story with 2 outs and 2 strikes in an inning?
Right.
Just so you know it, that's not something that the Fanatic adheres to.
Apparently not. Not very happy with his current view.
No. There's ball 4. Ben, where are you?
I'm somewhere back here.
Yep.
Come on over this way. Man, you smell delightful.
It's the popcorn. Fanatics enjoyed his time here at Clearwater. Oh boy, here we go.
Want me to move that for you, Fanatic? I'll see what I can do.
Fanatic, you need any more oil? Ben's got some. Jake Rogers. Jeez.
God bless you.
God bless us all. 1 ball and no strikes. Out to left field. Rosales, the Fanatic, he's got it. Yes, he does. Let the celebration be good. Jeez. Whoa. He gone. 10-6 tie. Even the next generation will laugh the way we have. Well, we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Phillies down 10-6. Drew Verhagen is the new pitcher. 0-3 with a 5.77 earned run average. And Valentin that ball's pulled into right field. Good swing by Valentin. He can run, and he's on his way to second base. Ducey's throw cut off, and it's a leadoff double. Valentin had one of the more enjoyable springs last year. I know we liked watching him play. Unfortunately, injury sidelined him once he got to AAA. He probably would have been up in the big leagues at some point last year. And you may see him sooner rather than later here in 2018. It may even be to break camp depending on how he plays. I mean, he's got such a good swing.
Yes, he does. And fall behind the count, obviously to the hitter's advantage. And he comes out of the box busting it. Surprised they cut this ball right here. The throw was on line.
Here's Florimone. Florimone takes outside. On the outside corner, 1-1. Ground ball foul. Verhagen began his collegiate career at the University of Oklahoma, but eventually wound his way to Vanderbilt. So he played at 2 big-time college programs.
Now you have to sit out a year, correct?
Well, he went from Oklahoma to junior college.
Okay.
Which enabled him to not sit and then to
Gotcha.
Vanderbilt. So if you go from the junior college back to a Division I program, you don't have to sit out. If he had gone from Oklahoma right to Vandy, then yes.
You have to sit a year.
Yep.
Even if the coach were to leave for.
Well, that's a good question.
Are there different stipulations?
I think there's different stipulations, and I don't know all of the rules with that. Just from a college basketball standpoint, I think there's a lot of times where you can. On the inside corner, Florimone down looking on strikes.
And Rogers got crossed up.
So Rogers gets crossed up. He's going out to the mound. This does not count as a trip to the mound. He has to mention something to the home plate umpire.
Well, this is exactly why you can see that he got crossed up. Oh, and that is a really good job of catching that baseball. You can go from fast to slow. You can adjust to that. It's very hard to you're expecting something slow and adjust to something fast.
Dylan Cousins, he singled up the third base line his first time up. Takes a breaking ball and it's 0-1.
Getting back to Division I baseball, I still think it's downright silly that they're still only allowed 11.7 full scholarships in baseball.
Well, I mean,
and football is allowed what, 100?
It's about the funding and the money making. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
But you're still talking about some big time programs.
I would agree with you on that. But it's also about revenue generating in some ways too.
Well, many programs do bring in a lot of revenue. Not as much as football. I understand that. But 11.7, you're going to have 30 guys on a team.
Outside, 1-2. The dirt that got a piece of Vic Carapaza's hand As Valentin will head back to second. That's where Vic Carapazza probably says to Jake Rogers, you want to go out and talk about being crossed up again?
Oh,
it looked like he got pinched between the chest protector of the baseball.
He was shaking his hand. I thought it hit him right in the.
I think his hand got caught
in the gut
near
there.
where the gut was, and it just pinched.
Nothing Rogers can do on that one. That's do or die. Not on the fastball. He can't block a fastball.
Breaking ball hit foul. Cousins last year 135 games, hit 27 home runs, 75 runs batted in. That one did not come all the way back, 94 mile an hour on that heater from Verhagen. Well, the Fanatic doesn't look like he's causing as much trouble next to Scott Palmer or Kenny Hamilton. Out of play. Great seat right there.
He makes his rounds, doesn't he?
And a very quick pace. Everybody's wondering where that foul ball went. Well, at the top of the production cavity, but they have helmets on. Everybody's okay. That one is up toward the Fanatic. Strike three call. Cousins down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Verhagen. Yeah, that'll bring Alvarez to the plate.
Second baseman, Alvarez.
Cousins pretty much on the plate.
Good pitch.
Yeah, looks good pitch.
Eleazar Alvarez, 23-year-old, who the Phillies picked up last year from the St. Louis Cardinals in the Juan Nicasio trade. Watch that one all the way through. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Missed about a month and a half last year because of a sprained ankle. Phillies picked him up on the 6th of September. So he did not play in the organization. Wound up going to winter ball. At one point he found himself as the number 10 prospect in the Cardinals organization. Valentin still at second base after that leadoff double. Swing and a miss. So Verhagen gives up the leadoff double, but then strikes out the next 3 hitters down in the zone. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. To the 6 runs in 1 inning. It was the bottom half of the 4th inning. A home run by Hoskins, a 3-run home run by Roman Quinn were all part of the scoring. They do have 10 hits today, but they've committed 3 errors, and the Tigers added 2 more runs on back-to-back home runs in the 6th, and will take a 10-6 lead to the 7th inning. Jose Taveras will be out there to begin his 2nd inning of work. off the left field line and out of play, and it's 0-1. Down the left field line, and Rosales can't get to it, and it skips by him and will go to the wall. And Gerber's on his way to third base. The throw is in time. That was awkward.
Good recovery here by Rosales in left field.
He overthrew the initial cutoff man. Unfortunately, Alvarez was there to pick it up.
Kind of there at no man's land. He can't even see the first cutoff man. Ooh. Phillies may have gotten away with one there. And it's really a blind throw from that corner where our good friend Greg Murphy usually hangs out.
Greg's avoiding the sun, I think, at this point. Is that right, Murph?
I had a very good view of that. He actually had to throw that over the seating area.
Obstacles, Murph.
Yeah. And he did it with a smile on his face.
He really did have to throw that over the seating area.
Couldn't even see that first cutoff man.
Outside, 3-0 to Harold Castro. Castro grounded out his first time up. Ball 4. Walked him on 4 pitches. Well, we mentioned the other day during our Yankee telecast, Aaron Boone, new skipper. So is Ron Gardenhire, but he's kind of an old skipper. So he takes over the Tigers after a year with the Arizona Diamondbacks on their bench. Ron Gardenhire has been a very successful manager. 5 years of 90 wins or more with the Twins in 13 seasons. I mean, 13 years with Minnesota. Over 1,000 wins, 1,068. His biggest issue, and it's not his fault, but it was an issue, is that they were 6-21 in the postseason.
Yeah.
Now 60 years old. He's the 2010 American League Manager of the Year. He interviewed, I think it was for the Red Sox job as well.
Good baseball man. Guys love playing for him.
Spinner up the third base line. It's going to stay foul. But it's 0-2.
He likened this ball club to the ball clubs he had in Minnesota. A couple solid veterans on the team, but a lot of young guys coming up through the ranks. And that's how they were able to build some really good ball clubs in Minnesota. It was tough going in there and playing. And that dome was loud. Yeah. Jock Jones, Torrey Hunter, these guys were tough.
On the hands, out to shallow center field. That's going to be a tough play. It's going to drop in, and it turns out to be a hit. Meneses tried to spin and throw it toward Alvarez. Alvarez's feet, though, were not on the second base bag. And that'll be a hit, so runners on first and second.
Meneses just not able to get there. Actually gets to it in time, just his glove's not in the right spot. But if Alvarez has his foot on the bag, that might be a force play.
Yeah, I wonder if you turn yourself into a first baseman in that spot, if you can stretch enough to get.
It's worth a try anyway.
It's worth a try. Espinal, who flied out his first time up. Well, you look at and every website is different, but if you look on MLB.com and the top prospects for the Tigers, and this may be part of, what Ron Gardenhire talked about. A lot of their top prospects, top 4 at least, are pitchers. It's not odd, but the kid catching right now, Jake Rogers, is their number 7 prospect. You have that. Who knows what he's going to turn out to be? But that may be give you a chance to be wide-eyed, but they have other players that are going to play this year that are some of the top prospects that are making adjustments. I mean, they got Jeimer Candelario, who they got from the Cubs in the trade last year. That's going to wind up, most likely being their third baseman. Hit .330 when he was promoted last year, a couple home runs. Two balls and one strike. Three and one. Ron Gardenhire's longtime pitching coach with the Minnesota Twins, Rick Anderson, is on his staff. He is actually the bullpen coach for the Tigers. Lloyd McClendon is his hitting coach. That's ball four, so the bases are now loaded. Couple of walks.
We're seeing that pitch count start to creep up there on Taveras a bit.
Well, Gabe Kapler is heading out to the mound, and he signals to the pen. So Edebrай Ramos is going to come in with the bases loaded and one man down. So Taveras' afternoon, his first this spring, is in the books. We'll be back after this pitching change, right after this. There's Edebraj Ramos. So we'll take over with the bases loaded. Jim Adduci is up for the second time, and he hits that first pitch foul. Oof. It's no balls and one strike. Ramos last year 4.21 ERA. Better when he got brought up at the end of the year, not the end of the year, but after being sent down for a little bit. Oh, 0-2. Saw Adam Morgan work out of a second and third jam in the fifth inning, and now if you're Ramos, you come in for Taveras and try to clean up things and get out of a tough spot here in the seventh. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Andrew Knapp just steps on home plate.
Excellent pitch, but very nice.
Time now for a Best Western Hotels and Resorts update. Angels taking on the Rockies. That's Shohei Ohtani striking out looking in his first at bat. Here in the third, he gets a piece of it in the air to right field. It is a fly out. 0 for 2 thus far in this game for Ohtani. The Angels have a 2-1 lead over the Rockies in the bottom of the third.
Catch it. He's going to make a play for me.
Chad Huffman homered his first time up. First pitch is outside. 94 from Ramos, who will sit, probably mid-90s when he's rolling. Looks like he's almost there. Okay. Bouncing ball foul past Dave Clark.
Now that is one thing Edebraj has done very well, despite still being kind of young, is able to get back in counts with his off-speed pitches. He's done that since day one. Does it again here on a 1-0 pitch. Off-speed pitch.
Popped him up. Rickles in foul territory. He's got it. And Ramos is able to work out of the bases loaded jam here in the seventh inning. Time to stretch, get on up on your feet, throw your rocks around, and get ready for the home seventh. Bottom of the seventh inning, and Verhagen is back out there for the Tigers, facing Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty struck out his only time up. Nick Rickles is on deck. Phillies did have a chance to tie the game in the 4th inning. They were down 8-6. They had scored 6 runs. Flaherty shoots this one the opposite way. And one quick out in the 7th. Flaherty struck out and Rickles flied out. One to Rickles. Two.
See Verhagen out here for the Tigers. Did you see what Verlander did yesterday? He and Syndergaard matched up.
Yeah, 100 for Syndergaard, 100 miles an hour for Syndergaard, and then Verlander.
4 strikeouts in 2 innings.
Was it 95 did he hit it? Or 96? Both were excessively quick with their fastball.
Amazing. I know everyone likes offense, but see those two match up, it's pretty special. So is Keuchel still the ace? Is he still get the ball opening day, or Verlander?
I don't think
or
that.
Cole.
I mean, not Cole. I don't think AJ Hinch has announced any. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at everything, but I would think it's Verlander.
Really?
Yeah. Nice play over third by Eves. Very smooth with his throw over to first. 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
I wouldn't be so sure. Especially what Keuchel does, and especially if they open at home. Keuchel is masterful in that ballpark. And what he's done for that ball club the last couple seasons. I'd go for Verlander myself, but
Daniel De Los Santos.
yeah.
Another tapper foul. Oh, and 2. Meneses went down looking on strikes. Foul ball, and it remains 0-2. Verhagen pitched in 24 games last year for the Tigers. 14 of those games came in the month of May. He had some pretty good numbers as a starting pitcher down in AAA. No balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Boy, that ball had some great movement on it.
Yeah, he gave up the double to Valentine, but 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. He's got some nasty stuff.
1, 2, 3 go. The shape for the upcoming year. Ramos will start the 8th inning after coming on and getting the last 2 outs in the 7th inning. Nico Goodrum will lead it off. He homered his last time up, his only time up. And he takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Woodrum last year was in the Minnesota Twins organization. Spent most of AAA in Rochester, 265 with 13 home runs. Former second-round selection by the Twins. Inside, 2-1. Signed as a minor league free agent by the Tigers with an opportunity to come to camp. Off the hands, looped out to center. That's going to drop in for a hit. So he's 2 for 2.
Third baseman, Cody Eaves.
And here's Eaves.
There's been a lot of hits in this ball game. I wouldn't say that all of them have been of the hard hit variety.
Bouncer foul off his foot. That's painful.
That's going to stay with him the rest of spring training.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Eaves had a heck of an offseason. He played for Mesa in the Arizona Fall League, hit .337 in 22 games, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. You played in the Arizona Fall League. What does that tell you? Does that project anything?
That means he can hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top prospects go to the Fall League, and obviously the top hitters, but the top pitchers. So he's doing it against the top prospects in all of baseball.
271 last year combined, 13 home runs in AA and AAA. Up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. I know that, winter baseball, a lot of times it's the player who says, I want to get more at bats. I want to go to winter ball. The Arizona Fall League is more who the organization deems could use some additional at bats and maybe even some seasoning against different competition than they saw during the regular season. Is that right?
Right, and it's also not as long as that's going to go down as E2.
E2, yep.
Because he was trying to pick him off, Goodrum off at first base, not a pass ball. But the Arizona Fall League is not as long or lengthy as most of the winter leagues. Dominican Winter League, Puerto Rican Winter League, Mexican Winter League. So you go there for a month, you're done. So maybe these guys are saying, we want to get him some more reps, more ABs, some more innings pitched. We'll just send him to the Fall League, let them accomplish that, and they're done for the year. So they don't get worn out. They don't want to throw too many or get too many at bats.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Just missed off the outer edge.
Plus a lot of the Latin players, I mean, if you're Dominican born or Puerto Rican born, it's a lot easier just to stay in your own country and play winter ball as opposed to coming over.
Sometimes it's expected for them to do that.
Yeah, exactly. They take a lot of pride in playing in winter ball.
Eaves actually said when he was in Mesa, he said, listen, I've been trying to go for 3 years, even when he was with the LA Angels. Tigers acquired him from the Angels. And part of it for him, and I think this goes for some of the players, he had somewhat of a breakout year last year, and he wanted to carry that over. Down looking in this at bat. Good breaking ball. And one away here in the 8th inning.
Catcher, Jake Rogers.
And now Jake Rogers.
Good hard slider here. Late breaking. Obviously Eaves is looking for something else.
Rogers 0 for 1. Former 3rd round pick of the Houston Astros. ball and 1 strike. In the Verlander trade, the Tigers got not only Jake Rogers, they got Daz Cameron, Mike Cameron's son, who's the 5th best prospect in the Tigers organization, and Franklin Perez as well. Runner goes.
Don't even throw it.
Yep. He stole that on Ramos. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was a hittable pitch too for Rogers.
It was.
Swing and a miss. The slider again. There's some light going on Ramos' slider here this afternoon.
It's the truth.
Center fielder Mike Gerber.
And now Gerber, who doubled his last time up, will face a different pitcher as Gabe Kapler is out to the mound to get Ramos.
Excellent job. Excellent job. Able to get out of that bases loaded, 1 out jam last inning and come in and a couple more strikeouts this inning to give up the single, but he's looked good.
Yeah, eye-opening. Gabe Kapler with some final words of advice for Ramos before he exits. We'll be back right after this. Groove. There's been a number of Eagles chants that we've heard here today after they won the Super Bowl. Here is Enyel De Los Santos. And this is the young man that the Phillies got in the Freddie Galvis trade. It was 1 for 1. And the Padres watched De Los Santos after last year, particularly after his second half, really jump through their system as far as prospects go. And the Phillies acquired him for Freddie Galvis, very high in him. You can see he's a big kid, 6'3", listed at 170 from his minor league times. Bigger than that now as he continues to fill out. Fastball in the mid-90s as he delivers off the outside part of the plate at 94 to Mike Gerber. He's out of the Dominican Republic, 22 years old. Fastball mid-90s, slider as well. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Working with a runner at third base and 2 men down. He pitched with San Antonio, as you saw, 10 wins, an ERA of 3.78. Got better as the year went on. Ground ball right side. That's going to sneak in for a base hit. So a run scores. That run charged to Ramos. And an RBI single for Gerber, who is now 2 for 2. And Harold Castro will come up for the 3rd time. De Los Santos, as we mentioned in Double-A last year, I mean, he could start in Triple-A this season at the age of 22. He had a very good second half. Bob Brookover from Philly.com wrote a story about De Los Santos, just to give you an idea of who he is and what he is and what the Phillies got for a very popular player in Freddie Galvis, who's the best defensive player, shortstop in the National League. And you know, arms are a commodity. And that's why De Los Santos was so enticing.
Kind of short arms it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's straight from his ear, but he doesn't have a long loop in his arm before he lets it go.
Attributed his success last year to a small mechanical change that he made as the season went on. On the outside corner, strike 3 call. 1 run does score. It's an unearned run charged to the line of Ramos. We'll move to the bottom of the attic. Register now at Phillies.com/5K.
Good job on not waking up that young lady.
I was really concerned. She looked very comfortable. I did not want to speak. I wanted to use my inside voice. Bottom of the 8th inning, Adam Rosales will lead things off against Kevin Comer. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Comer is out of Seneca High School in Tabernacle, New Jersey. Blue Jays picked him in the first round of the 2011 drafts. Fouled away.
Is that northern or southern Jersey?
Southern. Out to second base. And Castro's up with it. And Rosales, who's moving up the line, is thrown out. One away here in the 8th inning.
On the field, off the field.
Yeah. She's out on the berm. It's been a long day. She's in a prime spot for a right-handed hitter, though.
That'd be quite a poke.
Kevin Comer, who grew up, as you would imagine, a Phillies fan, got a chance to participate in the Carpenter Cup. Ball's fouled away. Carpenter Cup is the high school all-star team, which features teams from around the Delaware Valley, whether it be the suburban ones in Pennsylvania, Burlington County, Mercer County, New Jersey. The Shore teams as well in New Jersey. As Knapp draws the walk, a 1-out walk. In fact, Comer, at one point, you know, with the Carpenter Cup, you get a chance, if you get to the championship, you get a chance to pitch at the ballpark. And he got a chance to do so. And said at the time it was one of the biggest thrills. I'm sure it's still a big thrill for him to pitch on the mound at Citizens Bank Park. In fact, he said at one point after pitching, said, quite honestly, I don't want to leave. Well, even though this isn't Citizens Bank Park, it is the spring training home of the Philadelphia Phillies. So a pretty good honor for him to get a chance to pitch here. 0-2.
Sure, he's got some folks back home watching.
Sure he does. So Valentin, who doubled his last time up, behind no balls and 2 strikes. Down the left field line. And foul. Mentioned that Comer was a draft pick by the Blue Jays. Went to the Astros when the Blue Jays acquired former Phil Jay Happ. So if you grew up a Phillies fan and you were traded for a former Philly who had a very good rookie year with the Phillies, might add something to it. Ball just got a piece of Valentin, and it puts runners on first and second. So Pedro Florimon will come up. The Phils down by 5 here in the home 8th inning. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. And 2.
just see climb the ladder right here. Tardy on his first 2 fastballs.
Not a bad location with that one there. 1-2 to Florimon. Pedro struck out looking his first time up. We saw him get a chance to play a little center field last year and moved pretty well.
Heater after heater.
Rogers out to the mound and talk to Comer. Something other than the fastball, and he got Florimon. 2 outs now in the 8th inning. And Dylan Cousins. There's Stumpf in the bullpen, the former Phil.
Not that Dylan Cousins needs any assistance from the wind, but I'd like to see him get one up in that jet stream. See how far
the way the wind is going out toward right field. 94 from Comer, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and 1 strike. With a soft breeze out to right field. Pretty good slider.
I think that was a changeup there.
So?
Yeah. Same pitch, the 1-0 pitch that Dylan had that check swing on. Got the same arm action with it. That may have been a slider there.
Runners go, and a strike 3 call. Back-to-back strikeouts for Comer. Phillies leave a couple here in the 8th inning. On to the 9th inning. Whew. And Andrew Romine, Anibal Sanchez just went to Minnesota. So Ron Gardenhire has some new players to work with going into 2018 as he takes over Brad Ausmus. Ausmus, who spent 4 years as the skipper for the Tigers, won 314 games during that time. Alcantara takes a strike. De Los Santos. Over to the left side, and Ryan Flaherty has it. And one out here in the top of the 9th inning.
First baseman, Edwin Espinal.
And here is Espinal, the first baseman. Espinal is 0 for 1. He walked in the 7th inning, flied out to right field in the 6th inning. Two and 0. Jared Eichhoff started today, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned in an inning and a third. And that's 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's got that mid popping.
He had 96 on that fastball.
Free and easy.
Over to first base. And Rickles takes it to the back. 2 away here in the top of the 9th inning. Phillies will have 1 more chance. And they'll face Daniel Stumpf. In the 9th inning. Andrew Knapp was waiting for a moment. Zach Curtis got up and started throwing in the bullpen. Outside, 2 and 1.
I assume these are fastballs. They range from 90 to 96. Unless that's a changeup that he's working on, he just throws it too hard. But it's odd to see someone jump from 90 to 96 with their fastball variances. Now there's another changeup that's at 89.
Yeah, a lot of awkward swings as Adducey is retired. 5-3 on the putout. Tigers go down 1-2-3. One last chance for the Phils as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. R.W. Mason deliveries of the game, and the back-to-back home runs then made it a 10-6 game. Now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and former Phil Daniel Stumpf. The Phillies selected Daniel Stumpf as a Rule 5 pick out of the Royals organization. That was in the 2015 Rule 5 draft, and he pitched in spring training, eventually was with the Phils, and after the first couple of days of the regular season, well, he received an 80-game suspension for violating Major League Baseball's drug policy. And he will face Alvarez to start things off. He came back, Phillies designated him for assignment. He was picked up by the Royals, and then the following December was picked by the Tigers in the Rule 5 draft. He was put on waivers by the Tigers. And they were going to set, they put him on waivers, and he elected free agency because he couldn't go back to the Royals, and then wound up signing with the Tigers and eventually got a chance to make his debut in the big leagues. Working on a changeup this year to try to help his cause. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to Alvarez. He fouls that one off.
It's a long time to be sitting out in that bullpen to try and come in and get 3 outs.
Hope he had sunblock on. Bouncer out towards second base. And one away. And Ryan Flaherty will come up. Flaherty's 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's also flied out to left field. Change up in there, and it's 0-1. Two and one. Nick Rickles is on deck. Kind of a quick pitch there.
Yeah.
And it's 3-2. Awfully close pitch to take 3-2. So ball 4, and the Phils have a base runner for Rickles.
May have been one of those where I'm going to take it, I know I can't hit it type deals. Not a whole lot I can do with it.
Swing and a miss and a high fastball. It's 0-1.
Rickles likes to swing it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Getting his hacks up there.
Grounded out his last time up. Flied out to left field his first time. Oh, 2. Back toward the middle. That might be 2. There's 1 and 2, and that's the ball game. The Tigers bang out 16 hits and 11 runs as they take today's ball game by a final score of 11-6. It's another double-digit day offensively for the Phils, but just not enough runs to muster the victory.
Big day offensively for a lot of people in this one. 26 hits as the Tigers top the Phillies 11-6 out in Clearwater, Florida. We're going to get you out to Arizona for another game coming up at Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona, coming up shortly right after this.